Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 6:03 p.m. We are in the Town Council chambers tonight. Thank you, Town Administrator Andre Garin, for allowing us to come here and meet. Tonight, our secretary is in Pennsylvania, so since Claremont's not here, I'll do the roll call. If you want to just state your name as we go around the table.
Alden Bushman.
Dave Scarpetti.
John Liscars.
Oliver J. Mack.
Matt Barrett.
Joe Paredes.
Okay, thank you guys. All right, roll call is done. Time for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did you want to do a 21-gun salute or anything? All right. Okay, so this, as all of our meetings, we always have two sections for public input. So the first one is now, and then at the end we have another one. So all three of you are considered public. If you have something you want to say on record to the board or to your community, you're more than welcome to. Everybody good? Okay, everybody's good. So we'll move on. Oh, there is one guest I am expecting today. I hope he found it, which is Chris Emond. I don't know if I pronounced that right, Chris. And Chris is the Chief Executive Officer of the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Hampshire. So Chris is interested in our project, just wants to keep an eye on us, see if there's things they can do to help us. And so we welcome his advice because the Boys and Girls Club have done a lot of this type of community activity. So we'll go to the next. We're going to skip approval of meeting minutes tonight because the secretary's not here, so I don't want to steal his thunder, and I'm sure none of you do either. We do have, for Michael Yakubovich, want to report tonight that Michael is resigning, and more or less, I asked him that if he wanted to be a more participative member, we needed that, because in the beginning, we were really just doing a lot of paperwork and stuff. But we're really now getting to a phase where we're starting to build up work. And so we need people to be as active as possible without getting stressed out. Like I was saying earlier, we always want to have fun. So if we're not having fun, we're doing something wrong. However, we've got to have some attendance at meetings so we can vote, so we have to have quorum. So Michael has decided to step down. He wants to make room for somebody else. However, being our technology director, he wants to stay in that loop. So Michael and I work together on the Facebook group and so forth. So we're going to continue that relationship. And like I said to him, he is a founding member of this board, so he's part of this. And he's going to continue to be part of it. So I'll take a motion to accept the resignation of Michael Yakubovich.
Make that motion.
Okay, motion made by David Scarpetti.
I'll second.
Seconded by Matt Barrett. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay. Creation of a new committee. So, you know, again, kind of novice at this. What I should have done is come to the board and asked permission to create a committee. I didn't do that, so shame on me. What I did is I asked people, volunteers actually, and Joe Paredes stepped up to be chair of the, called the Grant Gathering Committee.
Let it be noted that Robert Duhane has attended.
So Robert Duhane is at 6:07. Welcome to the meeting, Robert.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Oh, man.
Work. No rest of the weekend.
So what I ask is that we get together, because now things are falling into place, and so the the next logical phase is to start raising some money. So we don't have anybody experienced, which is the same as our board. And so this is gonna be kind of a great little adventure for this subcommittee. I figured 6 would be the max, including the chair. So we have 3 volunteers already, I'm sorry. One couldn't come tonight, and let me make sure I get the names. So Joe is the chair, Alicia Lynn Ford is the person that's not here tonight, and Carrie Morrell, and Kate Bryant are here with us tonight. So I just want to publicly thank our volunteers for stepping up, and it's going to be a fun ride, so thank you for coming aboard. All right, next on the agenda is the banking update. So Oliver Mack, why don't you give us a little update on the banking?
Okay, we opened up 2 bank accounts. We have 1 bank account with Merrimack Savings Bank, and we have 1 with TD Bank. So those are up and running. We also have a $1,000 check, a physical $1,000. No, sorry.
You can mention the amount, but let's not mention where it's from yet. Okay, I'm just trying to keep the videotape public and non-public separate.
We have a $1,000 check that was donated to us, and so we just have to decide today which bank account to put it in for one. And then I want to talk about us getting on our QuickBooks Online. So I think that we have to start some sort of formal tracking of the expense and donations that are going to come in. So I want you to think about QuickBooks Online. I'm thinking the very basic ones, and it's $25 a month, and then we can upgrade to ones that, you know, are a little bit more suitable for as we continue to grow. So it's something that I want the board to think about right now. If you get involved, if you get on QuickBooks and sign up by the 1st of December, you get it for $8 a month for 3 months. And so I really think that it's something that we should do now. In all honesty, I can take care of things through a spreadsheet, absolutely, without a doubt, for a long time. But I'm just saying, at some point in time, you want to upgrade to something that's a little electronic, so why not start?
So Oliver, would you like to make a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we start using QuickBooks Online, the basic startup version first, and then we can upgrade after.
So we have a motion on the table to purchase QuickBooks Online for our accounting moving forward to track all of the expenses and income that we have made by our treasurer. Do I have a second?
Second. How about discussion?
We have to have second first. Seconded by Joe. So let me just get this down. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes. If it's all right with the board, I would probably pay for the first year, so just as a donation to the committee, so then hopefully by next December, we'll be in a position where that won't have to be the case. But I mean, just to kind of get us started there. That's what I would do.
Very generous. Would you like to speak to your second?
I just think pro experience, having been on other nonprofit boards, it's nice to have the QuickBooks be more centralized and have, again, more efficient tracking for us. It'd be nice to get it right from the beginning versus trying to catch up later on.
All right, Mr. Scarpetti?
I went to the bank and talked to the banks about doing, having some type of link to our website in case there's people that want to make donations. Would that still work with you guys by doing the QuickBooks and, you know, setting something up with people that want to make the donations now that we are a 501c3?
Can I interject? My understanding, and Oliver, you can correct me, maybe you should explain a little bit what QuickBooks actually does for us, because I think these are 2 separate things. Dave is talking about taking donations in through our website, which we do have the back end to do that, and that would be basically the money coming in, but I think this is how do we account for the money? In other words, we got to keep records on expenses and
Right. I understand that, so does it make any difference if we, should that get set up at the same time that we're setting this up?
That's a good idea. To John's point, there are two separate things. The QuickBooks is really just online booking. It's like, you know, we're gonna have to track the fact that we're gonna be bringing in donations, and then we're gonna have some level of expenses, but it also, from a, you know, any kind of annual reports that you have to file, I mean, it does the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, so it's really just a online bookkeeping that, to Joe's point, I think makes sense to start early, instead of 6 months from now, and then you have, you know, this 1,000-line Excel spreadsheet that you have to take hours and days to, so I mean, but to your point, they can be incorporated to actually do donations.
Okay.
It has a section where you have the donor, and you have, they call them customers and vendors, but you have the donor, and we can track all of that.
Okay, and we could do that at both banks then?
Yes, absolutely, because you can link your bank to QuickBooks.
Okay.
That's correct. It's a good question.
Fine.
Anybody else?
Is there?
Hey, I think it's a great idea, thank you for bringing it up tonight. So if there's no more discussion, we'll take a vote on it. All in favor? Aye? All opposed? All right, the ayes have it. So you do have permission from the board to get QuickBooks set up for us.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a 501c3 registration update. This is big news to the public tonight because we really haven't announced this yet. It was Henry Roy who basically worked with Dave to get it set up. Henry is celebrating his 53rd wedding anniversary tonight, so he couldn't be here. So Dave, since you worked with Henry, why don't you go ahead and tell us about what's happening with our 501c3.
Well, it's been approved by the IRS, and we have, our federal ID number does not change. It stayed the same, so I guess we had heard, Oliver, that, remember we had been talking that we thought it was, the federal ID number was gonna change. It is not changing. We're using the same federal ID number that we were issued originally. So, so now we can take donations.
We're official.
We're official.
Okay, great. Anything else, Dave?
No, I guess that's it right now.
Okay, good. So that's a big announcement. That's a big step for us. So the public should be really happy about this going forward for their community center. All right, the next on the agenda is attorney update. We of course, we're looking for a pro bono attorney, and we have somebody that stepped up. His name is Greg Ulias, and he works for
Vinegar and Yulia.
Say it again?
Vinegar and Yulia.
Thank you,
I
Matt.
know Greg very well.
Do you? Excellent.
He sat on the board of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, he did.
For a bunch of years.
So he's going to be our pro bono attorney.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
So we'll be
A lot of
seeing.
experience.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be seeing Greg at future meetings.
And his, just as a side note,
Sure.
Lori, his wife, is Frank's daughter.
That's how we met.
Frank Attelson's daughter.
That's how we met. Yeah. There's a good story that goes along with
There
it.
is a great,
Yeah.
yeah, there is a great story behind it. He's the one, he's also the one, remember the guy that got ran over in Bedford?
No
Oh.
kidding. Hit by the car?
Yes. that
And
was
one guy
like the year
died?
that one died and Greg was the other guy.
All right,
No.
we digress a little though.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
let's keep focused on the meeting. We can definitely talk about that later, no problem. Number 9 on the agenda is the architect facility rendering update. So the public doesn't know this yet, yeah, so this is something new. Market Square Architects, through Matt's contact, Ben Brown, who's the Director of Business Development and Marketing there. They're out of Portsmouth. They have volunteered to do pro bono work for us. They're going to do a rendering of the community center. David and I met on the phone with them and spoke with Christina. I can't remember Christina's last name. It was a very productive phone conference. What Christina did is she went to our website, took our vision, if you will, our drawing about all the rooms and stuff we had, and some estimates on our square feet. She put that into real numbers, and they're going to do a very complex rendering. It's going to have inside the building as well as outside the building. So we're very, very happy, and we're humbled that they're willing to do this work for us for pro bono. So that's it. We'll be hearing more about that as they start producing some stuff for us. I do want to give, next on the agenda is the Facebook group creation. I want to give Mike credit for that, Michael Yakubovich. He did that, set that up for us, got it rolling. We're linked between the Facebook group and our webpage so people can go back and forth. And then there's a project Michael, he may still be involved with. We're going to overhaul the section where the videotapes and the agendas and the meeting minutes are. Right now it's kind of messy. It's all just thrown out there. It's logical, but it's just kind of messy. So in the future, look for agendas and minutes to be in one spot, and then all the videos to be in another spot. It'll just be a little more easier, a little more free-flowing for people. Again, to Joe's point, we might as well start doing it right, because later on we're going to build on all this foundation that we set. Okay. This is something I'm going to bring up at this meeting. We definitely don't have to decide it right now, but we're going to need a logo. So start thinking about...
Yeah, there is a regular scheduled meeting for Tuesday in the month.
No, they said, Andre said it wasn't happening, so there's a miscommunication.
Yeah, I know, I asked him to use the conference room upstairs.
Okay. All right. So just start thinking. I'm just mentioning it tonight. Everybody start thinking about a logo that you'd like to see, and we'll talk about it for a while, because a logo is your image that you're going to present out there to the public. Later on, we'll do t-shirts and all kinds of stuff, so we want to make sure we get it right to begin with. So just, I'm throwing it out there, start thinking about it. If you have ideas, bring them to the meeting. Okay, and the same thing with the public. If you have some ideas what you'd like to see for your Hooksett Community Center logo, definitely let us know, send us an email, come to a meeting, anything you want to do. Okay.
Mr. President, as far as the logo, what happened with the name? Did we get that finalized?
We're Hooksett Community, so we're back on the nonprofit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a question when we registered for the nonprofit, when Mr. Roy put in for it. At that time, the board had the name of Hooksett Community Center Supporters. One board meeting, we changed that, made it simpler to just Hooksett Community Center would be the name of the nonprofit. We were concerned that the paperwork went in to the feds as supporters. Henry Roy basically told me that is not the case, but he is going to follow up on it. So the bottom line is, at the end, we're going to make sure that all of our documentation with the state registration as well as the feds all has the same name. That's very important. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Vice President. Okay. This is another one we've kind of not talked about this a bit, but we've created the survey. We need to talk about the content, if everybody's happy with the content, and if so, when we want to release that survey. If we want to do that sometime next year, do we want to do it this year? You know, what's the consensus of the board?
I think we should wait till we have all our cards lined up.
Okay. Anybody else?
Second what Dave said.
All right. All right, so I think we're all in agreement. We're going to wait till we have our rendering, maybe even done a few presentations, got more of the public excited, and then we'll go ahead and do the survey.
Right.
Okay, good. Yeah, go right ahead.
I think that we may want to, we may want to sometime come up with a timeline for the survey, only because I think that when you're looking for grants and stuff, they're going to want data. They're going to want to say, what does the public want? And they're going to want to be able to come back and say, we had this survey, and 50% of the people say, so I think that, yes, let me get things more in order, but I think it's going to be good fuel for the grant writing team.
Yeah, good idea, good idea. So I think we take that into consideration for sure, and when we do, we're going to set a start date, we'll have a collection phase, we'll have an analysis phase, and then we'll present that data to the board. I think that's a good idea, Oliver. All right, let me just make sure I get this in order here. Okay.
I think, another thing, Mr. President, I think we should, our post office box is supposed to expire at the end of this month. I think we're gonna extend, we should probably extend that, just in case any other paperwork is coming through for the next, at least for another 6 months.
All right, you wanna make a motion?
I make a motion that we extend the post office, Hooksett post office box for at least another 6 months.
Second? Okay, David Scarpetti made a motion to extend the post office box. Oliver Mack seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, yep, go ahead and do that, David. We're at the point of our meeting, we're gonna have a non-public tonight, but before we do that, we're gonna have our second public input. So if anybody has anything they wanna say to the board or to the community in general, this is a good time to do it. Everybody all set? Okay, good. Well, not good, I mean, we'd like you to talk, but. All right, so, we're now going to enter a non-public session to talk about our real estate transfer. So, actually, we're gonna keep that on
Okay.
because our secretary is gonna need that to make the minutes, okay? All right. Because you're not, actually, these folks are just on our committee. I don't know if it's too early to invite them. I think we want to invite the, do you want to invite the grant writers?
Well, I guess what's everybody's.
Well, let's see what does the board want to do? We have our, what time is this? We gotta record this, 6:25. Okay. Ross Santulis is here from the board. So, question to the board right now is we're about to enter non-public. We have a member of the Manchester Rowing, is that? Alliance, who we're working in collaboration with. So let's start with that. I'll take a motion to allow the member of the Manchester Rowing Alliance to come into our non-public meeting.
I'll second that.
I'll take a motion.
Okay, then I'm making a motion that we let Nick stay for
Nick,
our non-public.
I second it.
okay. Motion by David Scarpetti, seconded by Alden Boschman. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, so then we have two new members of our grant writing committee. I'll entertain a motion if somebody would like to make it to invite them into our non-public.
Make a motion to invite two members of the grant writing committee to our non-public.
A motion made by Oliver Mack. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alden Boschman. Any discussion? And could you just state your name for the record?
Kate Bryant,
Yep.
Carrie Morrell.
Okay, this is to bring Kate Bryant and Carrie Morrell into the non-public session. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, you guys are in. So if you could just shut the door, Nick?
And then are they aware of non-public rules?
We'll make sure. All right, we are now back in public session. I'll entertain a motion to seal the non-public minutes.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We're all done, folks.